Suddenly, the price for a QB increased even more, which gave one man an idea.
Taysom, we're going to drive up the price of quarterback stock.
Few moments later.
Skip, he's playing bad. $245 million, this is what it's got them. 5 touchdown passes in 6 games. He's 30th in completion percentage. The worst scoring offense in the NFL. 15 points a game.
Well, it's official. The Denver Broncos have won the Sean Payton sweepstakes as they trade for the services of the Super Bowl winning head coach by sending a first-round draft pick and second-round draft pick to the New Orleans Saints in exchange for a third-round draft pick and the rights to Sean Payton, who was still under contract with the Saints when he retired from coaching. Now, Sean Payton has been expected to join the Broncos as their new head coach for a while. And the biggest reason being Russell Wilson. And the question that everyone wants to know, can Sean Payton fix Russell Wilson? Oh, this is Sports Done Right. My name is Hunter Wright, and I am here to answer that question. Now, 2 years ago, teaming up Sean Payton and Russell Wilson was only a what-if scenario, a dream what-if, a fun thing to talk about with your buddies. What if Russell Wilson, instead of being in Pete Carroll's round chuck light offense, was in a more quarterback-friendly offense, like the one that Sean Payton had employed in New Orleans for many years to great success? What if you teamed up Russell Wilson and Sean Payton? Well, that dream scenario is now a nightmarish reality because of the convoluted way the Denver Broncos set about putting this unholy union together. What was once a fun what if has now become a disastrous marriage made in hell. And the Broncos have paid a hefty price to set this all together. Now, it only cost multiple draft picks, including 3 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders, quite a few players, $250 million, plus whatever they're going to end up paying Payton, a human sacrifice in the form of Nathaniel Hackett, and, of course, George Patton's soul. So they have really mortgaged their future and gone all in on this union. Now, question is, what's Sean Payton going to do that Hackett couldn't? Well, Hackett was only employed by the Broncos mainly as Aaron Rodgers' bait. Rodgers spoke glowingly of Nathaniel Hackett, and so the Broncos hired him as their head coach because he was an offensive genius and Aaron Rodgers' best pal in Green Bay, and they thought that it would help them lure Rodgers to Denver. Now, when that did not end up happening, they thought, hey, well, we didn't get the big fish, but we can still get Russell Wilson, and we'll just team up Russell Wilson with Nathaniel Hackett.
With all due respect, remember, I'm saying with all due respect, that idea ain't worth a velvet painting of a whale and a dolphin getting it on.
So what's the big difference between having Sean Payton and having Nathaniel Hackett? Well, look no farther than what Sean Payton was able to do with Drew Brees. Drew Brees was originally drafted by the San Diego Chargers in 2001. In his 5 years with the Chargers, he had a career record of 30-28 and a passer rating of 84.9. In the final game of the 2005 season, he suffered a torn rotator cuff when trying to recover a loose fumble against the Denver Broncos. The Chargers let him go because they had Phillip Rivers already on the roster waiting in the wings. The Miami Dolphins wouldn't sign him because the injury was so severe that they believed he only had a 25% chance of being good again. So Drew Brees joined Sean Payton in New Orleans. In his first year with Sean Payton and the Saints, they went 10-6. He had a passer rating of 96.2. He led the league in passing yards with 4,418. In 2009, Drew Brees was the MVP runner-up, but he beat the MVP winner Peyton Manning in Super Bowl 44. Brees and Peyton together had brought the city of New Orleans their first ever NFL championship. From 2006 to 2017, Drew Brees passed for over 4,300 yards every season. He had never passed for 4,000 yards in his 5 years with the Chargers. Russell Wilson's passer rating in 2021, his final season with the Seahawks, was 103.1. It had been steadily declining every year since 2018. In his first season with the Broncos, 2022, Wilson's passer rating dipped all the way to 84.4. Brees and Wilson are very similar. Drew Brees stands at 6 feet tall, Russell Wilson, 5'11", both undersized quarterbacks, not known for having the strongest arms, but deadly efficient and accurate. Russell Wilson is far more mobile than Drew Brees ever was. He's not a threat to rush for 1,000 yards like Lamar Jackson or Justin Fields if Fields ever plays a full season. And he's not going to give you 10 rushing touchdowns like Michael Vick. But Russell Wilson can extend plays. He can pick up a first down with his legs if he needs to. Problem is, Russell Wilson has been banged up and doesn't seem to have the instinct to run the ball anymore.
See, right there. Chandelier clearly falls on Russell Wilson.
I would have avoided it, but I've been sleeping injured for weeks.
So why does everyone seem to be convinced that Sean Payton can save Russell Wilson's career the same way that he saved Drew Brees' career? Let's take a look at Sean Payton's history. Sean Payton got his start in coaching as an offensive assistant for San Diego State in 1988. For multiple years, he bounced around the college ranks with various different assistant jobs before landing a job in the NFL as quarterbacks coach for the Philadelphia Eagles in 1997. Now, the quarterbacks for the Eagles in 1997 were Ty Detmer, Bobby Hoying, and Rodney Peete. A who's who of NFL quarterbacks. And by who's who, I mean, seriously, who are these guys? Now, Ty Detmer was mostly remembered for his collegiate success at BYU. Rodney Peete was one of many Detroit quarterbacks that let Barry Sanders down. But Bobby Hoying, under Sean Payton's influence, enjoyed a career year in 1997. He led the Eagles on a game-winning drive to beat the Cincinnati Bengals in a game in which he threw 4 touchdown passes. And for a while, it seemed that Philadelphia had found a young diamond in the rough. Unfortunately, Bobby Hoying's 1997 season was merely a statistical anomaly, as Hoying simply wasn't an NFL caliber quarterback. But he sure looked promising under Payton. Sean Payton was named offensive coordinator of the New York Giants in the year 2000. And for 3 years, he worked with quarterback Kerry Collins, who had been a lumbering bust of a quarterback, inefficient, inaccurate, unable to lead a team. But just like with Drew Brees in the future, Kerry Collins' numbers improved drastically when Sean Payton took the reins. Collins and Payton even led the New York Giants to the Super Bowl in 2000. Unfortunately, that Giants team was horrifically overmatched against the Baltimore Ravens. From 2003 to 2005, Sean Payton served as the assistant coach and quarterbacks coach of the Dallas Cowboys. He got a 41-year-old Vinny Testaverde to pass for 3,532 yards. And he was able to draw out the third best passer rating of Drew Bledsoe's career. Once again, Sean Payton just seemed to be able to bring out the best in all of his quarterbacks. Sean Payton became the head coach of the New Orleans Saints in 2006. And it wasn't just Drew Brees in New Orleans that Payton had success with. I watched Sean Payton take Luke McCown, a quarterback who had played for my Jacksonville Jaguars, who I watched in Jacksonville, fail to pass for 100 yards in a single game. That's less than the distance of the field. That's less than the length of the field. He goes to New Orleans, passes for 335 yards in one game in Sean Payton's system. In Drew Brees' absence, we've seen Sean Payton field Teddy Bridgewater, Jameis Winston, and Taysom Hill. All three have winning records as starting quarterbacks under Sean Payton. Even Taysom Hill, who is most notable for playing every position but quarterback, has a winning record as a starting quarterback for Sean Payton. So in short, if Sean Payton can have success with all these different quarterbacks, then what's to say he can't do the same thing with Russell Wilson? You've won with Taysom Hill. You've won with Bridgewater, Winston. You made Bobby Hoying look like he could possibly be a franchise quarterback, even if that only lasted about 2 weeks. You made Luke McCown look competent. You made Kerry Collins look like he could be a franchise quarterback, even though that was far from the truth. Now, we talk a lot about Kyle Shanahan and how Kyle Shanahan went from Trey Lance to Jimmy Garoppolo to Brock Purdy and then inevitably Josh Johnson all in the same season, but the Niners just kept on rolling. How Kyle Shanahan's offense, you can plug any quarterback in that offense and it'll be successful. But as we have learned in the NFC Championship game this year, he does in fact need a quarterback. Sean Payton is on the same level. Only Sean Payton's been doing this longer. Sean Payton is the quarterback guru. He is the quarterback whisperer. And the Broncos have a good team. Let's not forget that the Broncos were expected to be good because they had a solid defense, they had weapons on offense, and all they were missing was a quarterback. What they got was an unmitigated disaster. But if Russell Wilson can be fixed, then this team should be rolling. Like when the Broncos got Russell Wilson from the Seahawks stuck with his backup, Geno Smith, and they actually made the playoffs with Russ's backup.
Don't worry, it's no longer dangerous.
The Broncos thought they were getting the better end of the deal. Right now, Seattle is made off like gangbusters. It's a highway robbery. It's a great train robbery. But Denver can still turn it around. If Sean Payton can rehabilitate Russell Wilson. And as we've seen in the past, Sean Payton is more than capable of doing just that. He's done it time and time again. So, can Sean Payton save Russell Wilson's career? Yes. Can Sean Payton save the Denver Broncos? Yes. Is it going to happen all at once? Probably not. But I could definitely see the Broncos turning things around and becoming the contenders that they set out to be. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like the video down below. Subscribe to the channel for more if you are so inclined. If you want to see another video like this one, then check out the one that's recommended in the upper corner of your screen. Or you can go to our channel and check out all the different uploads that we have.